Devin, can you be quiet? Alright, good. Okay, bye. Welcome back to That LA Garage. This fucking guy. Bye. Welcome back to That LA Garage. Today we're going to continue diagnosing and try to figure out why my 997.2 turbo is smoking a lot of oil. Oily smoke. Like, not oily smoke, but anyway, so in the past video I blew up a turbo, and then I replaced the turbo, and then I replaced the next one, and the car just continues to smoke non-stop. Not non-stop. When I drive and I come to a stop, it smokes the most, and when I drive and cruise, it settles down and it drives fine. Everything is good, doesn't smoke that. Actually, at times it doesn't smoke at all. But I noticed that when I come to a sharp turn, it will give you a big puff of smoke, and a lot of times it usually starts when I'm at a stop sign. A stop sign or red light, I come to a full stop, it engulfs the whole car. I mean, I put this on Ren's list, and also, I mean, my last video asking for some help if anybody knows, but I think I found something. Let me show you what I see. So I started taking apart the top of the intercooler piping. I got to the Y pipe, right, and I look inside. It's bone dry. You know, there's no remnants of any type of oil. Right? Let me put this away. So also when I look at the two pipes from the intercooler, bone dry, and same thing on this side. It looks like, you know, see the white over there? Looks like that's some residue from the meth injection, but nothing serious. There not anything to be concerned about. But coming here, I took the throttle body out, and then I noticed I have a puddle on both sides of oil. It's just sitting in the IPD plenum, which kind of makes sense to the symptoms that I'm saying. It's probably loading up over here with oil, and then when I make a sharp turn, it'll leak into the intake. I mean, the one side of one of the banks, and then puff out the smoke. Now, where's it coming from? There's 3 ports over here that to me seems like, because throttle body, there's nothing. There's no oil or anything. It has to be coming on from behind it. So the only thing leading to that area is the 3 ports from, I'm not really sure. Well, but I know the air oil separator is one of them, and there's also a check valve in there. So I'm going to take the plenum out. I'm going to check the check valve, make sure that it's still good, and then I'm going to go further and see where those lines lead to. It might be the air oil separator broke again. So I changed it in the past. If you look in one of the previous videos, I did change it about 8 months ago. So it's still a new one. I might have broken when I blew up the turbo, which is kind of weird for everything to happen all at once. But I'm gonna dig into this, and I'll catch up with you guys later. Alright, so I did some things. Let me catch you up on what I did. First, I'm going to give you the good news. What I did here was test like the boost leak. I did it on this bank, and then now I'm doing it on this bank. So what I found was when I did it on both sides, I'm getting the same type of result. I excluded. Hold on. Can you hold this here? So I filled this up with pressure. Let me see. I'm gonna fill it up to 30. Just under 30, right there is 30, and it's going ever so slightly down, but you can't really hear. You can't hear any of the leak. Usually, when I do that, I hear it from the air oil separator back here. So, doing this on both sides, this tests the engine. This basically is testing the intake manifold on both ends, right? And then I'm also testing the top of the pistons, it depends what position the engine is on, but it's basically testing, and I'm confident and comfortable to say that it's not the motor that has excessive blow-by. Otherwise, because I took the air oil separator out from there, there's 2 exposed holes from the crankcase that are facing up. I would hear hissing from that. So when everything is assembled and I would do the boost leak test, I would hear hissing from that area. I would hear something from there. So the first part that I want to look into, that I can't really look into, but I think I'm just going to order for at this point, because it seems like right here, I'm going to get a light in there. No. Right here, I'm going to touch it with the flashlight. You see this diaphragm over here? It's actually a check valve, right? And it goes into the turbo inlet, and it also goes into the air oil separator. There's a hose that goes from there into the air oil separator. I mean, it's not there right now, but that's how it goes. So I'm going to change that just to make sure it's not that. That's one of the things that I want to test. And I want to show you on the bench what else I found. Come, let me show you the bench. This is the oil catch can, the oil air separator, right? So the exhaust gases come from here. They go up to here, and they end up over here. They puddle in this area, and then the oil goes down here, and air makes its way out of here, right? When it comes down through here. Actually, let me show you here. If it puddles up here, right? It goes down that hole, and you're going to see it comes out from there. Oh, I just burnt myself. But air and oil come up here. It puddles here and separates. The oil comes down out of here and back into the sump for the oil, right? And over here is where the gas is, the oil and gas air, basically separate. Now this is the diaphragm that I took apart. This one, again, I installed about 8 months ago. When I took it apart, oil was filled in here, and this is supposed to have oil in here, but the oil is not supposed to be able to come out from here. So there's a spring here, and this is the diaphragm, and I guess this is like I guess maybe the piston, you could call it, or a puck, whatever you want to say. Now this is supposed to plug this like this, right? At different times it basically plugs it. During boost time it would be plugging it, or actually, I'm not sure when it on and off is. Now the back side of this was completely dry, so that means the diaphragm is good and all the components I see here are good. So it's not, I was hoping this was the situation, was the cause of all of this. Unfortunately it's not. I think just for the hell of it, I just want to pull this, make a little more tension on the spring, just because I'm going higher boost than stock. I don't know if I made it worse. I mean, I just wanted to do that. I'm going to reassemble this later. The next thing that I want to change is this hose. Is obviously not. I added this piece because it was pinched. When I took it apart, it was pinched, and also this was extended because this is a hard line. So I'm sure at one point it broke, and somebody previously probably fixed it or whatever it is. And that's it. See that it was supposed to be a hard line all the way to here. So I'm just going to order this one hose the way it is. Put it back to stock to make sure that's not the situation. So let's move on over here. So that's the third thing I'm going to try to get to. Another thing here is this is the IPD plenum aftermarket, and this is the factory one. So let's focus on the factory one for a second so we have an understanding. This hose over here, this is the connection over here that goes into let me give you a better picture of this. This is how it's supposed to go. Wait, this way, right? This goes here, and this goes into that check valve that I was talking about before, onto the intake pipe, right? And we know we're getting oil inside here. I also know when I boost leak test the car, I hear pressure from here. Now knowing that it's not on the engine side, it means that boost is leaving this area and escaping into this line. Boost shouldn't be reaching here because there's supposed to be a check valve over here. So this is the factory one. Yes, it has a crack right here, which is not a big deal at the moment. We're not using it. I'm just using it for an example. So it has a check valve that works really good, because if you look on the inside, you see it's a rubber. You see there's a rubber diaphragm there as a check valve. So if I were to blow through it, no air goes through. You could hear it. I'm sorry. It goes out, but it doesn't go in that way. I'm sorry. I was okay. Now this is a very simple diaphragm, but a check valve, but it's very efficient. It doesn't take any pressure to really make sure nothing comes out of that check valve. The IPD plenum has a different style check valve. There's a plastic ball in here, and it allows air, obviously, not to come out this way. It goes here. So if I blow into it, right, you hear air going through. Now I'm going to suck on it, and you're going to hear it leaking a little bit, because the plastic ball in there, I can only assume, is not a perfectly round one. It probably has some casting marks on it. So what happens is I'm going to suck on it, and you're going to hear it leaking. It should be completely. It shouldn't allow me to pull anything out of there, right? So just take a listen real quick. Can you hear that? I put the microphone right next to it. That's me pulling on it. If I pull really hard, it holds it. You hear that? So what happens here is that this type of check valve needs it doesn't modulate well with slow changes from pressure to suction, right? Now, if I do it fast, we're basically forcing the ball to seat, and that's fine. So my job that I want to do now is try to find a more efficient check valve that I could have in there, maybe a metal ball inside or something. I'm going to try to find a check valve that will fit here to help solve that problem. I really feel that this is the boost leak problem. Not necessarily the oiling, but maybe excess boost is coming out of here and then overwhelming the air oil separator. So those are 4 things I want to take care of and see if I solve my my car smoking issue. So that's where I'm at right now. And if you guys have any thoughts on any of this, I'm trying it out. I'm not 100% sure of anything. If you have suggestions or opinions, please comment down below, or if you got this from Ren's List, post over there, because I have a thread going on over there trying to figure out my issue with my car. I mean, normally on my channel I'm building and fixing cars, but this is a little bit diverting from my normal show, or things I do, but it's still, I guess, educational. I mean, this is educational for me, and this is also the procedures that I take to figure out problems that I've obviously never had this type of problem in this car, but I had problems, and this is just a procedure I use. So anyways, hopefully you subscribe, or if you have any advice, please comment down below. See you next time. Thanks.